Hi everyone. So in our last session, I gave you some details with respect to the criteria you need to follow in order to achieve success in any venture. I mentioned all the different criteria or all the different categories you need to be aware of in order to achieve success in any venture of your life. Uh, those can be listed as below: management, planning, organizing, directing, controlling. Without all these criteria, it is very much difficult for an individual to achieve success in any venture. It is not only for an individual, also for an organization. For an organization, they need to follow all the above criteria mentioned. Then only the chances of that particular individual or organization getting succeeded will be very much more. So in this particular session also, I'll be covering some examples. So you might be asking how we can adopt all these criteria in any profession or in any organization. So I'll be giving some examples on how this particular criteria can be adopted in all those organizations or in all those individuals. So once you get a clear-cut picture with respect to all those things, then I will start with the brief explanation or brief guide up with respect to the modules I will be covering. So it might get extended to one more session. So let's not rush up, because once you get a basic understanding with respect to the subject, then it will be very much easier for me to start up the syllabus. Then you people will also be in a position to understand the syllabus very much better. So let me take some examples. The first example we are considering is politics. As you can see, politicians, if they want to become successful in their particular profession, they need to follow all these criteria. So a politician without any management skills, a politician without any organization skills, a politician without any innovating skills, he cannot succeed. Let me give an example. In politics, if a person becomes a politician, then he might get allotted to a portfolio. Let me assume that he has been allotted to educational portfolio. In that educational portfolio, now he needs to decide how he can efficiently manage the resources. The resources can be manpower, the resources can be the raw materials he is presently having. These resources and manpower needs to be distributed correctly to different sections of educational department. It might be primary education, it might be secondary education, high school education, PU department, then comes the degree department. In degree, we can have different bifurcations. It can be engineering, it can be medical, it can be BSc, it can be BBM. We can have different bifurcations. So he has to decide for which particular department, how many manpower is needed, how much manpower is needed, how much resources or raw materials is needed. Those all things needs to be decided by that particular minister in order to excel in his particular portfolio or in his particular department. Then also you need to be innovative, because if the school education system is going as per the past few years as same it is, then it is of no use. We need to adapt. We need to adapt to the existing market. We need to adapt to the existing changes which are taking place. As a politician, he needs to be aware of all those things. Then he needs to start innovating. Then the politician needs to direct the officers who are working under him. He needs to have some control over them. He needs to communicate with them in a proper way. Only when he can properly communicate the things, the officers will implement correct things. Once implementation takes place correctly, then the department, that particular educational department, will excel. This is one such example where you can see how all these criteria plays a major role in that particular educational department excelling. So the next example we can consider is bureaucracy. As you can see, the topmost position which will be held by a bureaucrat is district administrator, or I can say DC, which is properly abbreviated as DC. So that DC will be having control over the entire district. So if he's having control over the entire district, he needs to properly manage the district. So that doesn't happen without possessing the necessary skills. So you should possess all these necessary criteria in order to efficiently manage that particular district. So that's why for each of the district, there will be different taluks, and those taluks will be headed by different tahsildars. So you will bifurcate the work among those different tahsildars. Those tahsildars will take up the directions given by the DC. You will be properly communicating what all the things that needs to be done. So based on the information they receive from the DC, they will implement the decisions. And also that DC needs to be innovative enough. So you should not be static. That means if there are 7 taluks in a particular district, each of the taluk might need different decisions, might need different actions. One taluk might be lacking in some particular resources. ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ತಾಲೂಕಲ್ಲಿ sugar cane availability ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Then he needs to think about what are all the things that can be done in order to increase sugar cane availability in that particular taluk. So you should be dynamic enough. So in order to be dynamic, you should possess all the criteria we just understood in our last session. Then only you can successfully succeed. So he also needs to follow the directions from his upper body, that is from the politicians. What are all the directions a particular MLA of a district is giving, particular MP of a district is giving? Those all decisions needs to be followed by that particular DC. So this is how all these 7 criteria plays a major role even in a department called as bureaucracy. These 7 criteria plays a major role in each and every aspect. There is not a single aspect which is left out without being considering these 7 criteria. So these are the major 7 criteria which has to be used in almost every department. So the next example I can give is film production. So as a producer, whenever he is starting a film, you should check for the feasibility. So he will have some budget in his mind. I can invest 2 crores for this particular film. So in that 2 crores, how much allocation needs to be done for individual department? How much I need to be paying for the hero of the film? How much I need to be paying for the heroine of the film? How much I need to pay for the director? How much I need to pay for the technical aspects? How much I need to pay whenever I'm shooting in a particular location? What are all the things I need to do after the film gets completed? How I can distribute the film? How I can communicate with all those people? How I can project my film into different markets? So that representation also plays a major role. I explained representation in my last session also. So how a particular manager represents his company before different stakeholders. So similarly, a producer or a director needs to represent the film they have made into different markets. Then only it will achieve some advertising. The people will get attracted into the film. So this is how those all criteria will be used in film industries. So the next example I can give is military. So in military, this is one of the major department or the major example I can say, because without all these criteria, military can become a failure. So in order for the military department to become a huge success, this plays a major role, because there will be plenty of soldiers. Those soldiers sometimes might take the decisions on their own, but they highly rely on the people who are above them. The people who are above the soldiers are the ones who give decisions. Those above them, there will be some levels of management. So each people who are at the below level needs to receive decisions from the people who are at the above level. That needs to happen. And also you cannot rely on old equipments. That needs to be kept on innovating. You need to have proper staffing. Organization needs to be done, which who are all the people who needs to be allotted to health department, who are all the people who needs to be allocated to aircraft department, who all can be allocated to the exact base location, who can take up a particular job. There might be people who are specialized in some kind of job but not specialized in others. So as a manager, as a higher individual, that particular individual needs to analyze all those things, then allot the job to a particular individual. So in military department, this criteria plays a major role. Next comes the CEO of a company. For example, if you consider the CEO of Amazon or the CEO of Facebook, if you consider Mark Zuckerberg, he has a huge role to play. He has a huge role to play in promoting his company. He needs to manage all the companies which are present all over the world. He needs to represent his company. He needs, if there are any allegations about particular his company, he needs to go before the justice, and he needs to explain what are all the things which are under control, how we can defend that particular allegation. That needs to be done. So ಜೊತೆಗೆ he needs to be very much open to the world. That means he cannot sit stagnant. So recently, or some years before, he acquired WhatsApp because he saw WhatsApp was growing at a larger extent, and he thought that was an opportunity to grow bigger. So that's why he acquired WhatsApp. So that needs to be the qualities a CEO of a company should possess. So these are the major criteria that particular CEO will possess. So major CEOs of major companies will have those qualities, will have those criteria. That's why that company always grows up. It never falls down. Similarly, in a company also, the manager will be having all those responsibilities. Explained all those things in the previous session. How a manager needs to control his team, how you need to direct, how you need to control, how you need to properly communicate the things. So that needs to be done. Then only the team progresses, the team achieves greater height. Once the teams achieves greater height, then the company will achieve greater height. Then the principal of a college, he also has a major role to play. He needs to know what needs to be done for the college, how a college can progress, what are all the different techniques we can adopt to increase the admissions. So those all things needs to be considered by the principal. He needs to give proper direction to the head of the departments. So once they give proper direction to HOD, they will pass it on to the faculties. It ultimately will reach the students. Then it will have an impact on the overall admission of the college. So in this way, there are many criteria and many examples. There are many such examples I can give for you people in which these 7 criteria plays a major role. So I think you people got some clear understanding with respect to why you need to learn this particular subject. It is a fascinating subject. It is one of the beautiful subject. This subject is not only for passing the exams, it is also for implementing it in your life. So these are the criteria which you need to follow in any of the venture you are taking in order to achieve a greater success in life. So I gave many examples and also gave how those criteria will be used in these examples. Now I will start with the syllabus explanation. So I'll be covering, as I had already told, I'll be covering module 1 and 3. So I will give the syllabus explanation of module 1 and 3. I will try to cover module 1 in this session because I don't want it to be a lengthy session. So the remaining module I will explain in the next session. Then from the 4th session, we can start with the actual syllabus. So in the first module, you'll be dealing with 2 major concepts, which are management and planning. So first of all, I had already explained what do you mean by management in the introductory session. So management is given the resources, how you can efficiently use those resources. There comes the word called as management. So I can say, I can give a definition for management. It is an art of getting things done through people. Or I can say it is an art of getting things done through people and resources. So you are using the people, you are using the resources, and you are getting some things done. That is an art. That particular art can be given a name, and that name can be called as management. So what is management? It is an art of getting things done through people and resources. That's what we can call it as management. In management, there are different functions. I will list out the function. Once I take up the module, I will go in detail with respect to those functions. I had already told those what are all those functions will be. The different functions of management are planning, organizing, staffing, directing, coordinating, representing, budgeting. So it can be abbreviated by the word POSDCORB, POST CORB. So these are the different functions which are associated with a particular word called as management. These are the different management functions you can see. So next comes the levels of management. So management can be categorized into different levels. So I had given many examples. If you take a particular organization, there can be different levels of management. The different levels of management can be low level management, middle level management, and higher level management. What do you mean by lower level management? The supervisors, there will be some supervisors who are at the ground level. They will be directly interacting with the workers. Consider Toyota company. In Toyota company, there will be many supervisors who will be directly interacting with the ground level people, who will be directly interacting with the people who are working at the ground level. So that level of management made by supervisors can be considered as low level management. So that on top of low level management, we will get middle level management. Here comes the managers. Those managers will contain many number of supervisors under them. Those managers will be directing the supervisors what all needs to be done. Those supervisors will in turn direct the people who are below them. This is called as middle level management. And the management level above middle level is called as top level management. Here you will have the CEO of a particular company. Here we will have the president of a particular company, VP of a particular company. Those VP, CEO, or president, they will be directing the managers. The managers can be sales manager, project managers, or anything. So these are the three major levels of management you can see in any particular organization or in any profession. So the first thing is, what is management? Management is an art of getting things done through people and resources. That is called as management. Which are all the different functions of management? Planning, organizing, staffing, directing, coordinating, representing, and budgeting. What are all the different levels of management in a, if we consider an organization, there can be many different levels. We can categorize those levels into three. Those are low level management, middle level management, top level management. Low level management ಅಲ್ಲಿ supervisors ಇರ್ತಾರೆ, middle level management ಅಲ್ಲಿ managers ಇರ್ತಾರೆ, whereas in top level management ಅಲ್ಲಿ there will be CEO, VP, and presidents who will be taking higher level decisions. So these are the different levels of management. So next, we can see what are all the different roles with respect to a management. I can say there are three major roles with respect to a manager. They are interpersonal roles. It mainly deals with human relations. How a particular manager maintains its rapport with its team members. On team members ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಅಥವಾ on lower level people ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಅಥವಾ on higher level people ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಒಂದು rapport ನ maintain ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು we will see in interpersonal roles. Next is informational roles. How he can disseminate, he can pass on the information to the people who needs to, who needs to be passed on. ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ನ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಎಫಿಷಿಯೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ರೋಲ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಡಿಸಿಷನಲ್ ರೋಲ್. Suppose if there is any tragic situation in a particular company, if there is anything which needs to be done for the improvement of the company, how efficiently he can take a decision. So these are the three major roles with respect to a manager. These three major roles are interpersonal roles, informational roles, and the last one is decisional roles. So these three roles, if a manager follows, then an organization will certainly grow and it will reach to greater heights. Then a manager should have some major skills. So the different skills a manager should possess are conceptual skills. I already explained these skills in the last session. Technical skills and human relational skills. These are the three major skills a manager should possess. So the next is, what is management and administration? Are they both the same? Are they meaning the same? The answer is no, they are different. Then how management is different from administration? Whenever you're using a word called as administration, it comes to top level functionalities. That is, there will be people who will be making plans at the top level. The CEO of a company, the president of a company, the vice president of a company, they will be making some plans, they will be making some policies. This is called as administration. Once these plans and policies are made, they need to be implemented at the lower level. So this is where management comes into place. So implementing the plans and policies at the lower level is called as management. So that's why administration and management are quite different. Administration deals with the top level functions, whereas management deals with the lower level functions. So this is the difference between management and administration. The next thing is whether management can be a science, and at the same time whether it can be an art. The answer is yes, it can be treated as science. That means whenever you are doing management, there are some basic rules, there are some systematic rules which you can follow. If you are doing management activity based on some rules and systemic approach, then management can be considered as science. So if you're following rules and some systematic approaches to do management, then it can be a science. Where on the other end, if you are using some conceptual skills, if you are using some analysis, if you are constantly analyzing something, based on the analysis you are making some decisions. So that means you are using some intellect, you're using some your intellect in order to make some decisions. So that's why at those time when you're using intellect to do some analysis, your management can be considered as an art. So these are the first part in module 1. These are the things we will be covering in the module 1. What is management? It is an art of getting things done with the help of people and resources. There are different levels. It will be low level at supervisors, middle at managers, and top level at CEO. There are different roles, interpersonal, informational decisions, and also a manager will be having different skills. Then is there any difference between management and administration? The answer is yes. Your administration deals with top level function. They'll be making the plans and policies, but implementing those plans and policies will come at the lower level. When you are following some rules and a systematic approach for management, your management is science. But when you are using some your intellect, when you are doing some analysis to do management, your management can be considered as an art. So these are the things I needed to tell in this particular session. So in the next session, I will cover the planning, the remaining part of module 1 brief explanation. Then I will cover module 3 explanation, brief explanation. In the fourth session onwards, we shall start with the syllabus. So I will go deep into the syllabus. Then we shall start with the syllabus. Hopefully, we shall try to cover both the modules in 15 to 20 sessions. So thank you so much. So kindly watch the session. Still, if you are getting any doubt with respect to this session or the previous session, then you could ping me or call me. Thank you so much.